Hello and welcome back to Penny Pinch Mom versus the Crunchy Mom. Our first story today is actually a continuation of a story that we've been following. Basically, Lifeway and Dannon, which is known as Dannon here in the US, the saga continues. So, give you a little backstory. Dannon owns almost 25% of Lifeway and they want to buy Lifeway. They want it to be part of their portfolio. But
Yep.
Lifeway does not want to sell. They're not openly looking for buyers. And Danone has offered twice now to buy them, and Lifeway said, nope, your offer is too low. So back on December 30th, Danone sent a letter to the Lifeway CEO and the board members stating that they plan to file a lawsuit against the CEO. Her name is Julie Samansky. I might have messed that up.
Like a small Yansky.
Smolyansky, and
Yeah.
basically stating that the CEO and really the whole shareholder board has been breaching their fiduciary duties.
Hmm.
So, what caused this is back between the first offer and the second offer, Lifeway made a comment that they just weren't interested in being bought by Danone or any other company that didn't value the company high. Okay. And they made kind of like a snide little remark that at this time they did not wish to be purchased unless it was because of a hostile takeover. And so now I think we're entering into hostile territory here.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. We start talking filing lawsuits. Definitely
Yeah.
so.
And so basically, Danone is upset because the board recently granted the CEO 300,000 new shares of Lifeway stock. And Danone says that this violates an agreement that Danone and Lifeway made over 25 years ago when Danone first started investing in them. And they claim as it is investing, but really, Danone's just been buying stock in this company, which is very odd. Why would you buy stock in somebody else's company that's technically a competitor?
Like long term, even. This isn't
Yes,
just
this
the
is
last
not
couple of
like,
years.
oh, I think we might want to acquire this company someday. Let's buy a couple shares so we get in on like their financial information. This is a very long-term play here.
It's like a quarter of a century. You've
Yeah.
just been like playing the
And
slow game.
so it's just very interesting because Daniel actually made a third offer that as of today hasn't been officially declined, but I don't see any reason why Lifeway's all going to say, yes, we'll sell to you because they
Right.
seem to be very adamant that they don't want to be part of Daniel.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting because Daniel is really going after the CEO and they're doing it almost personally. They're basically stating that she has wasted millions of dollars of shareholders' money, that she has spent tons of Lifeway money on basically supporting her litigation because the CEO has been battling against some of her family members about different rights to the company. And so, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like Danielle has really butted in the middle of a family struggle here. Like they're
Right.
taking advantage of a family issue that's being played out and they're not even doing it like a, oh, hey, let's buy your company and we solve your family problems.
Yeah.
They're like the third cousin twice removed trying to butt in and like grab a company while they're at it. And it's very frustrating, especially with all like the acquisitions that we've seen recently.
Yeah.
And even though I'm
That's
not
wild.
an active Lifeway customer right now, I have been in the past. I'm still rooting for Lifeway to stay an independent, family owned company.
The less we can funnel more into the same pipeline of just the same massive organizations owning the the structure of food in this country, the better off we'll be. We need small companies. Like realistically, that was the lifeblood of this country for a long time. And then somewhere, some corner was turned that said, we need massive corporations to process everything.
Well, and I feel like by the CEO mentioning that there could be a possibility of a hostile takeover, Danielle was like, you know what? If that's what they're expecting, let's just go there. Because I feel like it's very personal because they are coming out saying that the CEO has a lavish lifestyle. She has an
Wow.
oversized severance package. Her benefits are just out of control. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're very much targeted on her. And even though she's the CEO, she's not the business. You know
Right.
what I mean? And normally, when you buy out a business, if you don't like their CEO, you just replace them. And so it
Right.
seems very obvious at this point, if Danone does purchase Lifeway, that this CEO is gone. So, of
Oh,
course, she's going to be fighting for her job and she's going to be advising her board, no, we don't want this. So, I just, it's now
well,
entered into like, is this a legal dispute? Because they're actually going back now and saying that maybe that original agreement they made 25 years ago, possible it's not even legal and that it violates Illinois state law where Lifeway is headquartered.
I mean, there's a good possibility that because it feels shady that they made a deal for stock anyways.
Yeah.
But
Now,
I'm
I've
not
I've
surprised.
never
But
had any issue against Danone as far as a business or thing, but I will say that by watching this kind of like saga come out, I'm definitely looking at the Dannon brand a little differently. And I
yeah,
realize that you and I looking at food news, this is stuff that the average Joe may never see, but
yeah,
I expect that if more people could see like the legal and corporate what they do kind of behind closed doors, that
yeah.
maybe this isn't such a great company. Like maybe this
Oh,
isn't a brand I want to support.
it's not been a top tier brand for me for a long time. Um,
But then again, too, they're a large conglomerate and I'd have to look it up.
that
But Danone actually owns quite a few different dairy, yogurt. They don't actually have their own kefir line, which is why they want to acquire Lifeway. Because
right?
why compete with why come up with their own kefir product when they could just buy one that's already successful? And so I
Yeah,
kind of feel like, hey, Danone, if you want to get in the kefir game, then you need to make a kefir product. You need to promote it and you need to make your own brand that you shouldn't have to go buy a already existing great company in order to make your portfolio better.
yeah, I agree with that completely. So it looks like they have three major categories of foods. One is essential dairy and plant based products. Uh, so Silk, Activia, Delight are their top three in this category.
And
Um,
activity, it does get into kind of the
there it is.
drinkable yogurts and the
Mhm.
probiotics, which is what Lifeway does, but it's not a true kefir,
Right.
where it's like a cultured yogurt like Lifeway does.
Yes. And then it includes the European Danone, Dan 1, Silk, which is the soy.
Yes.
And then they have bottled water, which I
Oh,
have
I see
issues
all the
with
time
bottled
where
water.
people are like, "Oh, I'll drink anything but Dannon water." And I've heard people say that they have an
Nestle.
aftertaste of yogurt in their water.
Oh, that's funny. I won't drink Nestle. I try to stay away from Nestle in general. Nestle has been known for their hostile takeover of California waterways. So,
But so that's once again something that these companies do in one area can negatively affect customer perception in other ways. And so I almost wish that this was more mainstream news because this could affect people that regularly buy Dannon yogurt, who buy Activity, who buy Silk. I mean, would you want to buy these quote unquote better for you products if you knew that they were by a company that wasn't better?
Yeah. Like there's something to be said for the core values of the company and what they support, the legislation they're paying for, that
And
makes,
it kind of goes back to the how you treat other people,
yeah. If
you
this is
know?
how you treat people when you want something from them, man, I'd hate to see what it looks like when you go full scorched earth.
Good
And then
point.
the third leg of their company is actually baby formulas.
That is correct. I forgot about that. And that is highly regulated. And because they are
Mhm.
a European company, it's one of the reasons why here in America you can actually get European formulas because that company has different markets. So they're
Yeah.
actually willing to ship products that they make specifically for Europe here because they already have market share. So yeah, take that one.
Well, a lot of what I've seen, at least at a cursory glance of Danyon's, it fits actually the core of what it looks like they do. Um, it's really kind of, and maybe this is more the European version of the website because I did go to Danyon rather than Dannon
Yeah.
because I feel like Dannon has a different, I get a different
Dannon is
connotation of it, which is
actually
weird.
just a chunk, like the US chunk of
Yeah,
Dannon.
yeah,
So,
it's really
okay.
kind of interesting.